All right. Welcome. So let's get started and take a moment and just check in with our breath and our alignment and take that blanket, if you have one, or a block and place it underneath your hips. So let's just take a moment to let go of wherever you were before class, before you joined in today, and just breathe. So legs are in a comfortable position, whatever that means for you, Indian style, half lotus, kind of a fake lotus, whatever that is. Let your knees soften and hang down. So we're starting to work on our hips already. We want our head over heart over hips. So we have that proper alignment. We're lifting through the crown of our head, and the hands are in whatever position is comfortable. Okay. We're going to close our eyes, turning that focus inward to feel the breath move through our body. As we inhale, we feel the cool air move in through our nose. It fills the upper lungs, the lower lungs, and then our belly softens and expands to allow for a full breath. As we exhale through the nose or mouth, the navel draws towards the spine, and we let those shoulders soften down. So nice big inhale, relaxing that space between the eyes, softening the jaw, letting the shoulders hang down just a little bit more. We're going to take this time to let go, letting go of the thoughts as they pass by, and just using the breath as a point of meditation. So with each inhale, we can imagine drawing in new energy. With each exhale, we relax and let go. Let's take 2 more breaths here, really just breathing deep into the belly. And then on the next inhale, we'll flutter the eyes open, lift the arms overhead, reach through the fingers, and then hands come together down in front of the heart. Taking 2 breaths. And then inhale, arms reach back up overhead. Exhale, arms down the side, relaxing. All right, we're going to focus a lot on our hips today. So let's take a moment, uncurl the leg. Maybe you move that blanket to the side, and we're going to tilt our knees. So bending both knees. We're going to have the inside of, say, our left foot, if I'm mirroring you on the ground, touching. So both bent knees. I want you to try and find your hips here. Maybe this is a little difficult, and we straighten that left leg. Whatever it is for you, we're going to take a moment. We're going to lift up through our core. Remember that we're trying to feel both sit bones on the mat. And then grounding that right palm. You can extend that left arm overhead. So we have a hip opener and a side body stretch at the same time. Remember to find length through your fingers, so always avoiding a bent arm, reaching into it. Remember to breathe. So as we open our hips in new ways, when we hold our breath, we keep tension in the body. We want to try to breathe into it. This is going to challenge our body a little bit today. We're going to inhale and come up. Take a quick stretch through the other side. And then come back. I'm going to stretch out those legs. Shake them out for a moment. And then into the other side. So we're kind of going to do all new things today. So bending that left leg in. Bend the right leg so both knees face forward. Again, we could always keep that right leg straight. We want to try to find our hip bones. So then that means we're sinking into that right side. That's where we're going to feel that opening. So same side body stretch, grounding into that left arm. Right arm's going to come overhead. Remember, we're trying to sit into that right hip. We're trying to bring it closer to the mat. That's where we're going to get that stretch. We also focus in on that length from the fingers all the way down the side body to the hips. We're trying to open up in a new way while focusing on the breath. Nice deep breathing all the way down to the belly. On the next inhale, coming up, and then into that other side. Beautiful. Really reach, and then come back. All right. Let's stretch out those legs one more time. Find the hip bones for a moment. Find the center. Shake them out. Maybe massage the legs. Maybe a tapping feels good, getting that energy flowing. Or maybe just like a whooshing of energy down the legs out to the ends of the toes. All right. We're going to bring the base of our feet together. If it's tight and it's hard to sit up nice and tall here in this position, take that blanket, bring it back underneath the hips. Base of the feet come together. Remember, props are our friend. We always want to heal our body through proper alignment, and that comes through using these props to assist us. So propping up our hips allows us to have that head over heart over hips one more time. Remember, the further in you pull, you might feel some stretching on the front of your knees. It might cause you to hunch and round your back. So maybe we give ourselves a little bit more space from our feet to our hips. All right, lifting through the crown of your head. We can take the hands with the thumbs to the balls of the feet, hands to the outside, and peel them open if you'd like. That's an option. If we're working on our flexibility and you want to push a little bit, we can inhale and relax. So relax the spine. Exhale, lift up nice and tall and press the knees down a little bit further. If we have a lot of flexibility in our hips, use the elbows to press the legs down as you lean forward slightly. Remembering that this class is designed for you. Choose the variation that is best suited for your body today. So always acknowledging where we are and taking that moment to connect internally to our breath, letting go. Two more breaths, maybe three here. Can you breathe into your belly? Let it soften and expand. Let your hips open a little bit more. And then release. Inhale, coming up. Bring those knees together. Hug them in tight for a moment. Lean into them. Maybe wrap the arms underneath. Relax the head down. Release those hips for a moment. And then release the arms. We're going to come onto our hands and knees next. So we can use that blanket again. Another great prop for a little bit of extra padding underneath our knees. Unrolling that blanket. We want our hips in line with our knees underneath and wrists under shoulders. Remember, we're not locking out the joints. Don't collapse into the shoulders. Use the muscles. Spread your hands nice and wide. Every inch of your palm presses into the mat. Lift out of the shoulders. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Nice tabletop position to start. So we have an engagement in our core. We have a neutral head, maybe looking 10 to 12 inches in front. Take a moment. How can you engage your core? How can you gain strength in your body here? You're lifting out of the shoulders. All right. Warming up our spine. Inhale, relax the spine, tilt the hips, and look up slightly. Exhaling, chin to chest, navel to spine, punching and rounding your back. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking back. One more. And then it's your option. You can continue punching and rounding the back, or come back to tabletop and tilt your hips from side to side. We could stay with this for 2 more breaths, or we can circle those hips. Nice big circle, drawing the hips towards the heels one way and then the other. Wherever you are, 2 more breaths here. Choosing the variation that feels best for your spine and your body. And then come back to center. Engaging the core, nice tabletop position. We're going to move our left hip, our left knee towards the right one. So we're making a triangle base. So the knees are touching. We did not lift our ankle. We're going to take our right hand and grab our right ankle. And we're just going to stretch the front here, okay? This is challenging your balance. We have to engage our core to find this stretch here. You really have to pull the ankle towards the hip. If you have the balance and ability, everyone's different. You can lift that leg up. You'll get a little bit more of a stretch here. You could lift even higher, wherever it feels good and comfortable for your body, okay? Remember to take care of your body. This is a beautiful position. If you want to do the craziness and you want to come up, feel free, but this is good enough. All right, release the ankle. Come back to that tabletop position. We're going to challenge ourselves on the other side and then take a break in child's pose. So tabletop, wrists and ankles, knees and hips, and then pick up your right knee, leaving your foot on the ground, draw it over so that it's touching the left. So we have a little bit of a triangle. Shift your weight to the right, find your balance, grab the ankle. So you bend that left leg, reach the hand back. And again, we can stay here, just pulling that heel to the hip. You could pick up a little bit. This is great. It's really challenging our core. We're engaging our core. We're using our arm strength in a new way, using our balance. We're looking, picking a point on our mat. Extend up if you feel free. Changes the direction. One more breath here. And then we release. We relax our left knee down. We realign our tabletop position. And then we're going to shoot our hips towards our heels. Take a moment of rest after that balance and core and hips and glutes. Take a moment. Rest the head on the mat, a block or pillows, or even stack 2 fists so that your forehead is relaxed, your upper body is relaxed. We can make it active through the arms by reaching, or we can take the arms around the side of your thighs, palms face up by your feet. And we just fully relax for a few breaths. We imagine that our hips are drawing closer to our heels as we relax into with each breath. And we're just letting go. Check in on that space between your eyes. Use the cue of your forehead pressing into the mat, block, or pillow as a cue to soften and relax the face. Relaxing the forehead and the jaw, softening the shoulders. Feeling our abdomen expand into our thighs with each inhale. Softening with each exhale. 2 more breaths. And then inhale. Come up nice and slow. Back into that tabletop position. And we're going to move into a small lunge. Keeping our right knee on the mat. We're going to move nice and slow. So maybe you move your hands to the side and then pick up your left leg and bring it forward. We want to move nice and slow here. Don't push yourselves too hard. Our lunge can even just be with our hip over our knee. Remember that we would like to scoot our foot forward if possible so that we don't bring our knee too far over the ankle. We can stay here. We can always use blocks to lean on if you'd like, or just take a few breaths here. Feel that stretch through the front of your hip, leaning into it a little bit more if you can. You can bring your hands to the inside of your mat if you'd like. Choose the variation that works for you. Feel that strength, that lift out of your hips, through the crown of your head, shoulders hang down. 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to scoop back nice and slow. So shift your weight back. See if you can balance a little bit here, challenging our balance. If you can, lift your toes and curl them back. This is, again, your choice. We can stay here if you want and it's in your practice. Feel free to lean forward. Remember, don't hunch and round, always a nice flat back. But just curling back those toes really gets us to stretch through the back of our calf. Beautiful. Let's release. Nice and slow movements. Remember, lunges are hard to get in and out of, so we want to move slowly. Maybe we take the hands to the right, gently move back. We're going to come back to child's pose to even it out. So nice alignment with your hips and knees. Shoot them back. Relax the head down and take a few deep breaths. All right, inhale, come up, nice and slow. This time, maybe you take your hands to the left, giving you that space. We're gonna pick it up, bring it wherever you can. Maybe it's here to start, and then you lean back, and then you bring it a little bit further, okay? Just moving nice and slow, accepting where our body is. You can wiggle those toes forward, wiggle that foot. Remember to lift up tall. Hips are nice and level. Knee tracking over the ankle. We don't want to push too far. We can push a little bit, but we don't want tension on the front of the knee. So again, if you want to challenge your balance, hands to the heart. You could reach up high. You could challenge how far you go by putting your hands between your legs and leaning into it. Okay. They're all great variations. This alone is enough. Okay. This is giving us that opening of our hips as we lift and lengthen through the crown of our head. Last breath. And then slowly shift back. So push out of that right leg. Straighten the leg. Curl back the toes if possible. Feel that stretch through the back of the calf. And again, if you'd like, reaching forward for the foot. Remember, length first. And then kind of imagine tilting forward from your hips here. So this one's going to be a little bit of a stretch. All right, one more breath. And then remember, moving nice and slow. So maybe we come back to that lunge a little bit. Hands to the side. Come back nice and slow. Knees in line, or this time take the knees out to the edges of your mat and then big toes come and touch. Child's pose one final time. Hips shoot towards your heels. Relax the head down on the mat, blocks, or your fists. And take a few breaths. Notice any changes you might feel from the first one that you did. How do your hips feel? How did that opening help relieve any pressure you might feel? Two more breaths. Really try to let go. Feel the difference in the hips with the knees out wide versus when they were in alignment. And then on the next inhale, we come up. We're going to come and sit on our mats first. So turning nice and slow, take that blanket to the side, inserting a nice forward fold here. So take a moment, move the thighs, find the sit bones. Two options, we can roll up that blanket to place it underneath our knees. That gives us a really nice base to sit out of nice and tall. Or if we feel like we can sit nice and tall without the blanket and we want to lengthen a little bit, we can use a belt or a strap here, okay? Personal choice. First and foremost, lift up. You can always lift your arms up overhead too, and then exhale, fold forward from the hips. So hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment, curling back the toes. Choose the variation that works best for you. Length through the spine, and then relax the head, neck, and shoulders down. Remember to breathe deep into each pose. And then inhale, coming up. Roll those shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. Now you can leave that blanket underneath or move it to the side. We're gonna lift that right leg up. Now we can stay here and just do a nice twist. If you want to include your hips a little bit more, curl back those left toes, everyone, no matter where you are. Take your right foot across to the other side. While you're here, try to keep your hips both level on the ground. That is the challenge. Now lift and lengthen through the crown of your head, left hand to the right knee or the inside of the elbow, and then turn and twist, bringing your right fingertips behind you, pointing to the side of your mat. So having a hip opener and a spinal twist together. Take a moment to breathe deep here. Feel the belly expand into the thigh. And then fall away with each exhale. Check in with the shoulders, nice and soft, hanging down. Length through the crown of the head. And then release. Come back. Maybe you take just a breath, turning and twisting to the other side. And then back to center. Unwrap the leg if you crossed it over. And we're going to insert a forward fold. So find your hips, knees, and ankles. Choosing that variation, blanket or belt or strap or arms up. Always folding on the exhales. So really reach. Remember that forward folds are not just about our hamstrings and our calves, it's our lower back. So we want that tilting from our hips to help us fold forward and avoid that rounding of our back. All right, inhale, come up. One more seated. Left knee comes up. And again, we can have a fist distance and stay here. Remember, right toes are curling back, or take that foot across to the other side for a little bit of a hip opener. Try to keep both hips nice and level on the mat. Curl back the right toes. Lift up nice and tall, then take the right hand or the inside of the elbow to the knee. Left fingers point to the side of your mat. Lift and lengthen, and then turn and twist. Breathing deep into the belly here. Shoulders hang down. Check in with that right foot. Are the toes still curled back? That gives you a solid base. Now check in with your hips. Are they both connected to the ground? And then release. Come back to center. And if you'd like, across to the other side. We'll do our last forward fold. So unwrapping that leg, straighten it out. Find those hips if you need to. Hips, knees, and ankles. Blanket underneath or that strap around your feet. Or inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward from your hips and relax the arms down. Shins, ankles, feet. Or again, that lovely belt, giving us that extra bit we need to really fold forward from our hips. Relaxing our head down. And then release. Relax the strap and the feet. Take the hands to the side and we're going to come and lay on our mat. So we're going to scoot forward, however you want to get there. Have your knees up for a few breaths. So lift the hips, lower back as close to the mat as possible or the floor. Shoulders hang down. We can have hips, knees, and ankles in alignment, or we can bring our feet out to the edges of the mat and knees in towards the center. Whatever is going to allow you to relax for a moment and take this time to feel a softening through the body. Feel the ribs expand and press into the mat as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel that navel just naturally fall towards the spine. Relax the space between the eyes, softening the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders. Just letting go. Right, keeping on that feeling of relaxation. Draw the base of your feet together one more time, letting your knees butterfly open. Notice the difference in how this feels to the seated variation. If you'd like, you can take the arms overhead, mirroring the leg position, stacking one hand over the other. And we're just going to take a moment here to allow gravity to do the work, letting our shoulders hang closer to the mat, or maybe our elbows, letting our knees hang closer as well as our hips open. And it's the same thing as before. We can have our feet closer towards our hips or have that space and pull them towards the bottom of the mat. Find a position that's going to allow you to relax fully for the next few breaths. Two more breaths here. And then we'll release those arms first, bring them around the body. Maybe you use those palms to help bring the knees together, and then knees into the chest, nice and tight. We can hug them in fully around the outside or behind the knees. Maybe you want to take a moment and rock side to side or circle, massaging the lower back. And then release. Let's insert some small bridges, stretching our hips out the other way. If you want a fully relaxed pose and you have a yoga block, this would be that opportunity to use it. Hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment. Remember that we don't have to have our feet all the way next to our hips. Nice, comfortable position here. Take the arms down the side of your body so that your fingers might be somewhere near your heels. Our chin is lifted up towards the sky, allowing that space from our neck to the mat. Press the palms and shoulders into the mat, and then lift the hips and then the back off the mat, lifting up nice and tall. We're going to do 3. So holding for a moment. And if you want that yin variation, take that block and tuck it underneath the hips and lower back. And you're just going to hold for a moment. All right. Lifting a little bit more and then lower down. Middle back, lower back, and then the hips. All right, remember to squeeze the glutes and thighs as we lift. The other thing we can do is take that block and place it between our legs, keeping our hips, knees, and ankles in alignment, lifting the hips, lower and middle back off the mat. Remember, chin is lifted towards the sky, press into the palms and shoulders. 2 more breaths. And then release. Coming back down. We're still just holding with that block underneath your back. All right. Last one. Realign your posture if need be, and then lifting up. If you want, wrapping those fingers together behind the back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Remember, chin's lifted up, allowing those hips to lift a little bit more. Pressing evenly into the feet. Don't let the knees hang out wide. Nice alignment. Hips, knees, and ankles. And then release the arms. Release the back and the hips down to the mat. Knees come to the chest. Hug them in nice and tight one more time. Maybe you massage the back, rocking side to side or circling. And then let the feet hit the mat. Check in with your alignment. Maybe you lift those hips so the lower back is closer to the mat. Hands in a nice relaxed position. Hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. Press into the left foot, connecting it to the ground. Both hips are connected. Extend the right leg out and then reach it up high. And then bring the ankle across the left knee. We're going to draw the right knee towards the bottom of your mat. This is another opportunity to use that belt. We can take it by drawing our left knee up towards our chest. Take that belt or strap behind the knee, using it to pull the knee towards the chest. So left knee goes towards the chest, shins parallel to the ground, and the right knee goes towards the bottom of the mat. We can stay here, or if you want that extra stretch, draw your left heel up to the sky. Remembering to listen to your body, feel that opening through your hips while relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders down. Taking a few more breaths here, doing a lot of work on our hips today, allowing them to open in all kinds of positions. Really press that right knee towards the bottom of your mat. Maybe using that belt or the hands behind the left knee to pull it towards the chest. And then we'll release. So relax that strap, bend the left leg, let the foot hit the ground. Right leg reaches up, heel to the ground, and then lift that knee up. Find that nice, comfortable position, proper alignment. Press into the right foot. Left leg extends out and up overhead. Left ankle to right knee. Remember, press the knee open towards the bottom of your mat. And again, we can stay here with our right foot on the mat. We could take the hands behind the knee or take that strap behind the right knee. Shins parallel to the ground, head, neck, and shoulders are nice and relaxed. And we're pulling the right knee towards the chest as we press that left knee towards the bottom of our mat. Always the option to straighten that right leg. But listen to your body. Where do you get the most out of this stretch, this opening of the hip? And then try to breathe into it. Try to let go. Few more breaths here. Pulling the right knee towards the chest, press the left knee towards the bottom of the mat, a little bit more. And then release. Release that strap. Bend the right knee, let it hit the ground. Left leg reaches up and heel to the ground. Right leg goes to meet it. Extend the arms overhead. Find length through the whole front of your body, reaching the fingers and the toes. You're going to take our feet, walk them ever so slightly over to your right side. Cross the left ankle over. Right hand grabs the left wrist, and we're going to reach like we're making a banana shape. So we want to find a stretch through that left hip and side body. A nice curve from our fingers down to our toes. And then release. Walk those feet back to center and then across to the other side just a little bit. Walking the upper body over. Right leg crosses over the left, ankle to ankle. Left palm around the right wrist. Again, a banana shape. Going to stretch down the side body through to the hip. And then release. Come back to center. Maybe you take a breath and reach fingers to toes and straighten out the spine. Before we relax the upper body, bring the arms back down. Lift one knee and then the other. Taking a moment, hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment. And we're just going to let our knees fall to one side. So if they're going to the right, you're going to roll to the outside of the right foot and the inside of the left. Moving nice and slow. Feel the movement in the hips and lower back. So we come to center. And then to the left side, it's the outside of the left foot, the inside of the right, and the knees hang over. So we're just going to move. Moving those hips, that lower back, as we shift from side to side. Where can you let go? Feel that movement. Do 2 more rounds. Finishing that last round wherever you are. Back to center. Realign your spine and we'll do our final twist, final opening. So taking the arms out like a T, palms face down or palms up to the sky, bend in the elbows like a cactus or field goal pose. Entering into a twist variation that you might love, or creating some space by lifting up your hips, move them to one side. Then we draw our knees to our chest and let the knees hang across to the opposite side. Trying to let our hips stack. We can use a block or blanket between our knees or underneath the bottom knee. And if you'd like, you can turn and look the other direction. And just a couple of breaths here. Try to let your shoulders hang closer to the mat. Try to stack your hips, finding space through the spine. And then we'll come back to center. Realign your position. Maybe you take a moment. You want to draw those knees into the chest. And then bring the arms back out to whatever position was comfortable. entering into whichever variation you like, or lifting the hips to the opposite side, knees to chest, and then over to the other side. Turning and looking if you'd like to complete that twist. Remember, stack the hips. Let those shoulders relax wherever you are. One more nice deep breath here, letting go, letting your body soften and open one final. And then back to center, nice and slow. Knees come to the chest, wrapping the arms, hug them in nice and tight. And then lengthen out the leg. Let them hang at least hips distance apart, maybe a little bit more. The feet dangle to the side. We take our arms out away from our body, palms up towards the sky. Remember that this final resting pose is just as important. If only for a moment, let the body reabsorb all of that energy we moved around. Let your limbs feel heavy into the earth, resting the eyes, relaxing the space between them, softening the jaw, neck, and shoulders. We use the breath as a point of meditation, remembering that the energy in our hips is a lot of emotional energy. So we want to let this absorb. We want to let go of anything we might be feeling, any thoughts that might pass as we're here resting our bodies after our practice. It's only but a moment, but this is so important. We want to take this moment to let go. We acknowledge the thoughts by letting them go and not dwelling on them, just letting them pass by. And if we need a point of focus, we can always place one hand to the heart and one to the belly and feel that gentle rise and fall of our abdomen with each inhale and exhale. Our body returns to its natural rhythm. But just a few more breaths. Enjoy every moment of this time you carved out for yourself and your practice today. If you have the time, you can always stay here for a little bit longer. Or you can start wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling the wrists and then the ankles. You can tilt the legs from side to side, rolling on the backs of the heels, rolling those hips open. So internal knees come together, external rotate, open the hips. Keeping them nice and juicy. And then reach the arms overhead like it's first thing in the morning, pointing the toes, length through the whole front of your body. And then lifting one knee and then the other. We lift our hips and move them to one side so we can roll over. We can take a breath or two here, or slowly come up into a seated position. We'll all meet seated in just a moment. Nice, comfortable position. Take a few breaths, let go, gently coming back. If you'd like, you want to draw some energy into your body to carry you throughout your day. Inhale, lean forward, lift the chest. Making a circle, we round our back as we exhale. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. And then we'll go the other way. Circling, drawing energy through our spine and our hips. And then back to center. Lift up through the crown of your head. Let those shoulders hang down, maybe roll them down. Inhale, arms up, letting a smile come over your face. Exhale, hands to heart. Taking a moment to appreciate all the hard work you put in today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.